So in these reform circles, is what you're saying being generally well received?
I think I'm still odd in these reform circles. And this is my criticism of AI, if there is one, it's not AI so much as it is the people that are behind it. We have wicked, bad men that are trying to dethrone God and make men in their own image. I see that reality.
Trying to make us into gods as we outsource our brains to AI and so on.
Them the gods, us the slaves, right?
I'm down here in Nashville at the Fight, Laugh, Feast. I almost said podcast because I'm looking at that word at the conference. And you go by the screen name, if you will, of Chocolate Knox, but your real name is David Shannon.
Now the government's going to try and find me.
Think they'll find you?
Oh, yeah.
I bet they've already found you. But
Biden's administration finds everybody they want. So
very
they
good.
prove that.
And you have a podcast, Chocolate Knox Unplugged. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to come to that. But tell us first, like, where were you born?
I was born in Oklahoma, Muskogee. My parents were missionaries, so I was all over the place.
You were raised in a Christian home.
I was raised in a Christian home, yeah. I fell in love with the God of my parents at a very young old.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, so I remember my mother and father missionaries, and my dad preaching, and my mom. So we were charismatic. So I'm not there anymore. But I remember seeing my parents' love for God, and I wanted to love their God.
Man, that's
because
beautiful.
of that, yeah.
Yeah, may the Lord put that in more young hearts.
Amen.
Yeah, I was raised in an atheist home. When I was 17, a friend invited me to the Bible study, and I heard the gospel and believed. 3 years later, my dad believed, my mom believed, and here we are. But anyway.
Did that guy usually just sanctify your whole house?
But my sister never did. She's a Zen Buddhist.
Okay.
Up in Boston.
We got time, right?
Yeah.
Beer still works.
Yeah, amen. She's still breathing, so yeah. Humanly speaking, doesn't look hopeful, but anyway.
Israel used to think the same thing. You brought us out here to die?
Yeah.
We still.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us, how do you make a living?
So I'm a filmmaker by trade. So I've done a lot of different things, but this last stage of my life has been in production and filmmaking. I started working with a guy by the name of Todd Friel for Wretched TV and Wretched Radio.
Yeah, we know about him.
When Wretched started, I was there. I was with Todd in KKMS, so I came out of a charismatic background through Todd's ministry in Minneapolis at KKMS, and then I started going to his church. And so when he started Way of the Master Radio with Kirk Cameron and Ray Comfort, I was one of the first producers. I was the first producer that they hired at Way of the Master Radio. And from there, Charles Stanley had bought In Touch Ministries, it was FamilyNet. Charles Stanley was In Touch Ministries. He bought FamilyNet and moved it from Texas to Georgia, saw what we were doing in Minnesota, and wanted us to come out and do the show, Wretched TV, for them in Georgia.
So you did?
So we did. And so
Charles Stanley,
with In Touch, had FamilyNet, and that we were on FamilyNet and Sirius Radio. And so I got there and saw the wonderful things of media and how they were doing it. I started learning everything I possibly could. And then, so we were already working with Kirk Cameron. We did an event with him out in his house, and he showed me a video he was working on. And this guy by the name of Darren Doan, made Kirk Cameron look masculine. And I was like, whoa, this is dope. And I saw how he did it, and it was very unplugged, but yet it was very professional and some cinematic. And I was like, yo, who is this guy? Turned out he had a film school. So I couldn't do a whole film school year at event with him, but I came out to stay with him for 7 days. And he turned me my mind flipped out. I want to do this. So I went to go train with him and started working for American Vision. I loved it. Absolutely love it. Still love it. And so from there, I worked with Wretched for 6-7 years and then went to American Vision. Worked with Gary DeMar there and Joe McDermott at the time. And then moved out to Idaho, working with Darren Doan full time, and then started working for myself and started Cross Politic in 2016.
2016. Now, you've been involved with Tom Ascol and Founders somehow, haven't you?
Right. Yeah. So in 2019, 2018, 2019, early 2019, I've known Tom Ascol for a long time. He didn't know me, but they were facing a lot of the woke trash and garbage in the SBC, the effeminacy and the egalitarianism. And at the time, Jared Longshore was there with Tom Ascol. He was like, hey, why don't we do a documentary? And so we had just gone down there, I think in January, to be at their conference, and they called me and said, hey, would you like to do a doc? We don't know if you have time. I was like, I'd love to do a doc. And so by what standard was the doc that came out of that relationship? And it was basically showing that the SBC needed to commit to the biblical theology in order to be able to deal with their current situation, which was lies and persuasion and manipulation. And they were getting ideologies that were coming in. So yeah, Tom Ascol, love that man. He called me. I'll go to battle with him anytime.
Yeah, I feel so bad for them that, the Lord in His providence took Vody, but they were just starting that school. Vody's the president. He's going to teach systematic theology and all that. And
God knows what He's doing.
this doesn't hurt them in their launch.
Well, God tells a great story. So whatever God has planned in this moment, it's going to be amazing. You know, I always take the perspective, like if God is putting you in a casket and then you start to hear nails go down on the doors, your response should be, oh, I wonder what He's going to do. This must be amazing. He must be going to do something amazing.
I believe you just gave a talk today, and I wasn't in there. I haven't been in there all day, been out here busy. But did you talk about AI some?
I did, but not as broadly as probably, or more specifically as I wanted to. But yes, I did talk about AI. I gave kind of a talk. They gave people principles in order to be able to work with AI and understand kind of the categories that Christians need to have as they work with this technology. So yes.
So you will know that lots of people who, let's say, aren't Christians, but who are in upper levels of working on AI stuff, there's a lot of debate about, can we control this? No, we can't. What will happen if we develop it? No one really knows. Where's this going? So there's a lot of fear about AI. And a lot of Christians I know only have negative things to say about AI. But I think there are some positive things you might have to bring into the picture. What would you say that?
There's no positive things about AI.
No?
Run. It's going to be Terminator and it's going to kill us all.
Do you mean that?
Well, I mean, that's how everybody acts.
Uh-huh.
So then if people even lean that way, I'm like, what story have you been reading in the Bible?
There you go.
Or have you been watching too much Terminator?
We're going to be here till the last day, aren't we?
Or do you believe that these guys who have a broken anthropology should have some sort of conclusion in how you think about the future? You're a Christian.
Yeah.
Who gave you your anthropology?
Yeah.
Did Elon Musk give you your anthropology? So why would you believe his conclusions on this?
But they're probably worried about, okay, I know Christians can use AI for good, and other people who have principles can use it for good. But what if it falls into the wrong hands?
You mean like guns?
Oh, okay, good.
We're talking about technology, right?
Yeah.
Everything that you can level at AI, and I think it's a different type of technology, by the way, but almost every argument you level at it. You have to level the same argument or should I say, it's the same argument was leveled at the printing press in the 1400s.
Yeah.
The exact.
Probably at lots of things down through the years.
They said, but particularly the printing press, because it's the transfer of information, right? And all the arguments that you can almost like just copy and paste them. One of the things they said about the printing press was that it's printing inaccurate information. We can't trust it. The scribes, wait. If it's printing such bad information and doesn't have anybody watching over like the scribes used to use and watch over and to rewrite it perfectly, right? Then it will, since they can do it so cheap and everybody has access to AI, then the low income people will all of a sudden get all this bad information.
Mm.
And that's what we were saying about books. And then one guy was
books turned out to be pretty good, didn't they?
Imagine that.
Uh-huh.
All their concerns. Scribes turned into something else, right? The technology developed, and over time, it was sanctified. People don't have a theology for cultural sanctification, society, the world. They don't have a theology. Our sanctification, we think, is just inside of us. But God, over time, is sanctifying the world through the blood and work of Jesus Christ. This is what it means when Jesus said, all authority, he named locations in heaven
and earth.
And on earth. He's talking about the authority has been given to him. So then, because he has that authority, you have the ability and the license to make disciples. People don't get that part. You can't just go make disciples unless you have someone who has the authority. He has the authority to do that both in heaven and on earth. So then go make disciples and baptize and teach them to obey everything I commanded you. Right? And so I think people are missing out on understanding who's in charge of this thing.
Yeah. To the end of the age.
To the end of the age.
Yeah. Keep doing this.
So then when Christians now have a mindset that when we see trouble, the first thing we need to do is run from it or shut it down. But I'm old enough to remember that when Christians saw trouble, what they used to do is bring the gospel to it and preach on it and call covenant lawsuit against it until they repented.
Nice. Yeah. Maybe what's going on, part of this too, is kind of a dispensational mindset that we lose down here. I know that's a John MacArthur thing. And I love John MacArthur, and I'm sorry he's gone.
Father in the faith.
But to quote him, we lose down here. So if you have that perspective, well, this is doomed too, that we're going to lose with AI.
Yeah, I think it's easy to pick on dispensationalists that way and those guys, but I'm more concerned about the people who are reformed and theonomic who fear this. Like, it's baffling to me that our theology is only ethereal, but it's not actually practical. It's like, let's just talk about this for a second. Theologically, I don't even know where to start. So I don't want to be long-winded, okay? But let me try and work this out.
Sure, right ahead.
We don't think about how strange and weird and odd and insane and crazy God's world is. We have literally discovered things that God has hidden in the earth in such a way that when we find them and they explode because they're combustible, we find that out. God has given us, like, hidden these rocks here that can explode, and we figure out how to control them to the point that we can ride them from destination to destination, right?
Nice.
And so God's world is like that kind of weird that gases can propel metal horses, right?
Yeah.
And so what are we talking about practically? We're talking about rocks and minerals. What is this? What's those rocks and minerals?
Yeah.
Right? This is rocks and minerals that we've taught how to think, kind of. But we've taught how to systematize things.
How to process.
How to process things, right? Rocks and minerals, right? So that's the kind of world that God made. Our biggest problem is not with the materials. They all belong to God. So part of my talk that I gave, the 3 things that I wanted to leave people with primarily was AI is overrated because the position of God is already filled, then will always be filled, and that's permanent. AI is overrated because the position of man has been filled. God only made one crown and glory in creation. That was the man himself. But third, AI is not overrated as it relates to work and dominion because it's part of creation.
And can help us.
And help us in the work and
already, I'm sure a whole lot of us are using AI already, right?
I've used AI in the last 2.5 years. Over 5,400 hours I have clocked in it.
How do you know that?
Because
is there a timekeeper somewhere in that?
I made a commitment to start using AI 6 or more hours a day. Well, I use it for tools. I use almost every AI tool that's out there. I know, and I use.
That's crazy. So the only thing I use is Grok, and I like Grok because it gives me answers on some things.
Well, I mean, if you want to, I can give you one if you don't already know about Notebook LM.
I'd be interested. What is it?
Notebook LM is one of the most amazing tools you can have.
Notebook LM.
Notebook LM. Everybody should have it.
Keep talking. I'm going to write that down in a text to myself. That's how technologically cool I am.
Yes, you do it. You should be able to at this point tell Siri, go download Notebook LM.
Yeah, I'm sure I could.
I don't think it's there yet, but I would like for it to be there. So Notebook LM is an AI product that Google has made that allows you to put PDF resources in, and it makes a podcast for you from those resources.
All right, tell me how that works.
So I'll take John Calvin's work.
Yeah.
I'll put it in there, and it'll make a 30-minute podcast of all the works of John Calvin. And I get to, there you go. That's what I want to see. He lit up. Yes, and here's the crazy part. So and not only that, it also does a video presentation at the same time of Calvin's doctrine and teaches, or whatever you put in there.
Yeah.
And then,
by the way, I'm seeing fake voties and fake John MacArthurs online.
Yeah, isn't it a beautiful thing? I'll talk about that.
No, they're fake. It's horrible, and they're saying things they wouldn't have said.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
It goes back to free market. But let me get through this on Notebook LM real quick.
Okay.
So Notebook LM also does, after it does an audio podcast for you, it does a visual presentation, like a PowerPoint of some sort, a visual learner for you. But the real golden use of Notebook LM is that it's interactive. So there's a button that you can push and say, so how would have Calvin thought of this as it relates to this? And they'll say, that's a great question. Thank you for joining us. This is what Calvin thought of it. And so it's interactive. Let me tell you why this is important. My daughter was doing horrible in math. I took her math book and made Notebook LM her tutor that she can engage and ask questions with.
Whoa.
And so whatever her problems were, we were working together. But it wasn't just I had to teach her and show her how to be a prompt engineer to be able to use this tool. And she started learning. She's like, Dad, this is actually not as easy as everybody makes it. I know. It takes a certain type of wisdom to know what it is you don't know and how to extract the information that you need to know. And so it's not just cut and dry. So anyway, yes, that Notebook LM is a massive, valuable tool that people need to be using. And when I need to learn something, I need to learn it quickly and richly. Notebook LM is what
Is it free?
It is free.
It's available. I just Google it. I'll find it. Yeah.
It's worth paying for, though. I spend close to $600 a month in AI tours.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I'll probably wind up doing that, but I'm not in the field you're in.
You will if it makes you more money and work.
So I'm a pastor, and I don't want it writing sermons for me.
You don't have to have it done.
I want to write my own sermons.
But I think if it was writing sermons for Joel Osteen from Calvin's perspective, I wouldn't mind.
Well, listen to him. But I do use Grok, and it does some research for me. So, like, for a sermon, I want to know, I'll type in, like, I'm Baptist, Reformed Baptist perspective, what are the 3 main reasons people are giving for X, Y, Z? And Grok will it'll read a bunch of articles real quick and feed me up.
Yeah.
And that's very helpful.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to get in to get the dust off and learn how the tool works.
So I'm just barely getting the dust off.
Exactly right.
What would you have pastors like me use it for more?
I read or not say. I mean, there's all sorts of different tools. I think when I have very complex things that I'm trying to work through, or doctrines I'm trying to work through, or perspectives that I need to see angles on, I want to argue, I don't just use the generated data that it has. I don't mind that. But what I'm usually doing is taking other books and men's works. Like, for instance, on theonomy, I'll take all of Rushdoony's work and I'll load it in here. And I'll load another person who I know disagrees with Rushdoony, and I'll have those conversations back and forth. And then, prompt engineering, so it all depends, right? When I am, I think when people start learning how to use it for taxes, learning how to use it for businesses is really amazing. So the analysis of business, to be able to calculate things in context, be able to look at your social media and be able to know what articles work and which ones don't, because it can run an analysis on your data. And because you don't know how to read data very well,
this is crazy.
Right.
I need to hire you.
But so there's all different. There's not. Because we don't use it, we don't even know the areas in which we need to use it for.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Having a vehicle, it's for us, allow us to live in places in worlds that we would have never been able to live without those vehicles, and bring dominion to those places because of vehicles.
Yeah.
AI is a type of technology that is not just a tool. It's an ecological revolution. That's what I don't think people understand. That's what they're afraid of too, by the way. Like,
why?
Because you can't use a tool without it also using you.
Oh, okay.
And so what people are afraid of is, what kind of person is it going to make?
Yeah, how will this change me? Yeah.
Which is why
that is something to be concerned about, right?
And it will change it.
Yeah.
It will change it. It will change work. But the thing is, it will change how you work. But the thing is this is why, for me, my biggest push is, this is wisdom. You need a king to be able to handle this type of information. And a king is a person who knows the law of God innately. He's written it and established in his heart so he won't sin against God. And so everything he does, he applies the law of God directly to the situation. And because you know the law of God, it teaches you wisdom on how to get to the situation. So what I call splitting the baby. Like, you're a pastor, right? That's what Solomon did. There was no law on how to get to whose mom this was, whose baby this was from these moms. There's no law on that. But because he knew the law of God, he was able to assess the situation and know what he had to get to in order to be able to make the decision. Like, split the baby. That's how we'll get it. That's godly wisdom. And it's wisdom for kings. We are in the place now that God has been sanctifying his world in such a way that he's moving mankind into a kingly role, kingly position. We are being sanctified to the next level over and over again. This is how history works, right? We're not going back into the dark ages.
Right.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
God sanctified us past that. And so we say thank you. And then we learn, we understand it, we get the wisdom. And then we start, my wife has a great way of saying this. She says, you give thanks, and then you break it, and you use it. And then God multiplies it. But you give thanks. The orders have to be set up right.
All right.
You got to know what this is, whose it is. What do I do with it, right? You got to have the metaphysical realities of this thing established way before the tool ever comes across, right?
So I talk to a lot of people, but you have an unusual amount of knowledge on the viability and usefulness of this. Are other Christian organizations tapping into your knowledge of this?
No, not mine, because I'm sure there's a lot more people who are much smarter on this than I am. I am just somebody who's practically using it, and I see that. But I will say this too, as somebody who pushes back on this a little bit. I think it's Paul Varalli. Varalli, he's a French philosopher. He said, and I'm going to blow and mess up his quote, but he basically said, with all technological realities, the adverse effects are already built in. So you don't get shipwrecks without ships. You don't get plane crashes without planes, as you don't get
in.
Right. It's all built in. And so some of the things that we're going to figure out with the reality of this AI is, what's the other side?
What are the build-ins?
What the build-ins,
Yeah.
right? But and this is why I say classical education and the godly wisdom is so important, because if you're paying attention and you know the story you're in, you've been reading the classics, you understand how technology works and how since 1870 to 1970 we've had the technological boom and what we've learned from it, then you see this new thing and you're not running around with your head cut off trying to figure out what to do. You have been covenantally attached to the past so that you know how to operate in the future. If I don't tell my son who he is, I can't help him control where he's going. Somebody else is going to write that narrative.
Yes.
But knowing who he is, he can then operate with where he needs to go. We are so ignorant of our past that we're afraid of the future.
Interesting.
Because we're not covenantally connected. So I push for a strong, rigorous classical education, and those people are going to have the best understanding of how to handle this tool for good, the extent of which we can use, and how much it can bless other people.
Sweet. So I interviewed another guy who's very much into AI, studying it. He's up on it. It's a pastor. You'd probably know his name, but I won't mention his name here. But his response is very different from yours. His response is pretty much, I'm concerned that we're not gonna think anymore. We're not gonna learn anymore. So the only use for AI is to do anything that you can't do. You're in a very different place than that, aren't you?
Well, can I give my fears?
All right.
First, and then I'll deal with that in a second. So I am in a different place. I'm working through how much it's going to change us.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. Because I have 5,400 hours in here on AI, it hasn't created a form of leisure or dumbness for me. It's because of the education I have had. It's forcing me that it's making me do more work. It's making me have to understand more things.
Made you learn.
It's made me learn, and it's made me need more tools to be able to expedite what it is I'm learning at the speed in which I'm learning it. So it's made me have to think more robustly and broadly about topics from angles in which that I wouldn't think about before.
Yeah.
And because I have the help of men who come before me inside of the tool, their resources and books, I can think faster about it than I ever could before in the library.
Pretty well. So in these reform circles, is what you're saying being generally well received?
I think I'm still odd in these reform circles. And this is my criticism of AI, if there is one. It's not AI so much as it is the people that are behind it. We have wicked, bad men that are trying to dethrone God and make men in their own image. I see that reality.
Trying to make us into gods as we outsource our brains to AI and so.
Them the gods, us the slaves,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so that's a reality, right? There really is what's the third book in C.S. Lewis's space trilogy?
That Hideous Strength.
That really is a reality.
Yeah, I reread that recently in light of what's going on.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a reality. I don't think, but you got to remember, I don't want to blow that Hideous Strength, but you got to remember, this is a Moses moment where Janus and Jambres get shamed and their folly was made known to all.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Like people go through 2 Timothy chapter 3 and they go through and they're like, it's the last days, it's the last days. And then they miss all the buts in there. I always tell people, don't forget your butt.
Don't forget the butts.
Don't forget your butts in Timothy. But you, Timothy, stay faithful, steadfast.
All right.
Sorry, I'm talking too much.
No, you're supposed to be talking too much. I'm not supposed to talk much, but you really got me interested here. And I'm sure some of our listeners are very interested.
Okay.
And we would like to know, where would you direct us to go so that we can start learning more about what we ought to be doing with AI?
You need to go to the work that you need to do.
All right.
People are going the wrong way. They're going to AI. I'll give you an example. My mentor and friend, Darren Doan, who I work with, when he figured out AI, he sat there and he's a filmmaker, works with Kirk Cameron, but he's also like a classical whiz in art. And so he sat down with AI, ChatGPT, and he said, make me this wonderful, he names all these artists and these guys, and he says, this is the most amazing image that I could have never created. It would take me so much money to make, because he knew the classics. And so he knew how to train it to deliver value to him. He's like,
that's it. Learn how to train it to deliver
because of what he knew. You have to. So this is my point. Now he does this beautiful image, is amazing. And his son sees him do it. His son runs up, I think he's like 13 or 14, runs up and he's like, make me an image of DK Metcalf with 2 Uzis inside of a convertible Ferrari. And it does it.
Uh-huh.
And he stops and he says, that's how it's going to be used.
Wow. Uh-huh.
Right? People aren't going to, because look, AI is made to bring value to you. If you're ignorant and unlearned and stupid, you're going to get stupid prompts. If you're not and you're educated or you want to be educated, it will help you get to the place that you can learn how to engage with it, so it gives you things of value.
And like anything, it can be used for ill or it can be used for good.
Right. And so when it comes to like, well, how do you start to use AI? I want you first to make a list of the work that you need to do in your house. I like to think of moms in this. Mom, think of your basic, most mundane things that cause you a lot of havoc. Thinking about meals every night, thinking about shopping and groceries, thinking about school lunches for school and the needs that you need there. And I want you to think about those things. And what I tell moms to do is take a picture of your refrigerator so everything's clear. I want you to take that picture and put it into the AI. And I want you to tell it to give you 4 meals that you can make from the things that are in there.
Oh, that's crazy. And it'll do that.
And you
with skill.
Yes, it'll give you with skill. And you'll say, and we have these allergies and we have these things. I want simple meals that only take 15 minutes or so to do. Not only that, but after you have that picture in there, I want you to go to Comment. And I want you to tell Comment to order these groceries for you within the next 2 weeks so that you can have these replenished in your fridge from Walmart.com. And it will go and order those things for you.
Yeah, brother, you're in a place that's like light years ahead of where I am and where everybody I know is.
I'm trying to get us there because we have to have Christians using it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it because we are the salt. We got to put the salt in the machine. You know what I mean? We got to put the salt in there, and so that we can help lead. And so the reason that free markets are important to this is because if we're engaging with it and we're using the tools, and it's a free market to buy and sell within to these tools, if they work for us and the truth is being told from these tools, we buy them. If the truth is not being told with these tools, we won't buy them. So there's a feedback loop to the people who are making it. We'll go broke if we don't tell the truth. That's free market. Google went through that same process, right? Google said, we're going to make AI woke. They made George Washington black. You couldn't make white people in AI. And everybody's like, we're not going Google. And then Anthropic and ChatGPT blow up. And they say, guys, shut that down. We're not going that way. Let's make sure we tell the truth. The free market course corrected their whole situation because they want to make money. If we're not engaging with it, they help control it. Yeah, that's right. Right. But that's okay. Yeah. But you're going to play by the rules of the people who are buying the product.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we can't take free market out of the conversation when it comes to this.
Yeah. All right. So we probably ought to bring this to a close. It's late.
It's up to you, man.
You've been talking.
I'm enjoying it.
Okay, good. What did I want to ask you? I had a good one there. I like your watch, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, cool, man. What is that, dude?
It's just an Apple Watch. It's Apple. It's just Apple Watch. I just got a different casing for it.
Yeah.
Everybody makes fun of me. But you know what I love about this is how heavy it is. So it's a weapon.
That's a real watch.
It's just a weapon. You know?
It would be if you needed it. So I totally forgot where I was going to go, so I'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, I know. So are you working on any books about this? Are you working on it?
No, I'm not working on any books.
What can people access to learn from you?
I do podcasts on it. I did a whole podcast on Cross Politic about AI, where I take the tools and I lay them out for everybody. I don't have any place where I've gathered all this together or made anything about it. I think there's so much out there. I don't think I have to. But maybe I'm just so deep into it that I need to pay more attention to it. But anybody can reach out to me on Instagram, on X, Chocolate Knox at
Chocolate Knox.
Yeah, chocolate_Knox.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So, and I'll help out. But I mean, people can ask me, hey, I'm doing this. What do I need? I took my kids and I made them learn the 20 years of history before they got here. I wanted them to learn the narrative and story that they were in. And as next summer, so I do this every summer. The next summer, they're going to go 40 years. The summer after that, they're going to go 80 years, right? I want them to know about the world before they got here, or most recent world, so that they're not ignorant. because I realized by the time 9/11 came along and gone, there's people that are 20 years old that have no recollection of the world before 9/11. So, but I made them do this, and I made them use ChatGPT, and I gave some parameters for them so I could teach them how to prompt. But I didn't just do that. I told them I wanted a video presentation, a PowerPoint presentation from what they do. And so I sent them the Gamma AI, which takes their PDFs of what they made and puts it inside of a visual presentation that looks phenomenal so they can present it to the whole family.
Crazy. How old are these kids?
So they range from 5 to 18.
All right.
So everybody had to do a presentation.
Everybody's doing that.
Everybody,
5-year-olds do.
absolutely. Yes. we're working with the 5. Here's what you got. And so the 5-year-old is able to say, okay, I am this years old. I need to know the 20 years before I got here, what are the main events around music, around history that is made and formed and shaped the culture of America up until the point that I was born.
Wow. Sweet.
So,
And you just keep going back and back.
She's going back and back. And so she had to do it too.
Yeah. Now, do you trust what it chooses to feed you on these questions?
I mean, as much as I trust anybody else's podcast,
All right.
I mean, information, this is why truth is so important, right? But I mean, the issue of trust is still abounding regardless if you're talking about AI or something else.
Or something else.
Yeah, like people have to
You
put
read a book, do you
retractions
trust
all the
the author?
time. Yeah, I mean, it's not new. But if you go to the library, there's people who have books that are lies in there.
Yes.
Right? Like, so if you're, this is why masters, if they're taking their masters, you got to read broadly, figure out what the facts are. And this is something that AI is forcing people to do, is because they have limited levels of trust to it, or they don't want to get caught with their pants down. They're going around and say, I need multiple resources. But to watch the rate in which AI is fixing the trust issue is radical. Like, it's radical.
They're fixing it.
They're fixing it.
Yeah.
So I think I can trust it a lot more. People use it like Google.
Yeah, I do.
People use it like Google, and it's way broader and deeper and richer than that.
Yeah.
So I think first, know what is the work you're trying to do, and then go to ChatGPT and Comet and a Notebook LM and start using these tools to do the work.
Yeah.
Don't think of this as a toy. It's not a toy. Don't make DK metal
For you.
Yeah. Find the work you need to do. What is the area you're working around? What is the knowledge you have? And then start using it, and then find out the places that you're ignorant and help use this tool to get you the resources you need to gain wisdom.
Yeah. So I like Elon, so I use Grok.
Yeah.
You like Grok?
I do like Grok. Grok is unique because it's directly connected to social media in ways that the other AIs are not.
Yeah, there you go.
So it gets real-time information and can check things and resource it that in a lot of ways nobody else really can. So I really like Grok.
Sweet.
But the truth is, larger companies that have a better infrastructure like Google are going to be able to do some of the things that, because they got so many pieces attached, they're just going to be able to absorb the whole thing, because once somebody might create it, they just apply it. Like Apple does with cell phones. They're not inventive in one sense. They have a nice, sleek infrastructure of what they do. Wait for somebody to invent it or perfect it, and they just add it to the Apple.
Yeah, they do.
When you're big enough, you got an infrastructure around you, you can do things like that. Right?
Sweet. Very sweet. So you go by the name Chocolate Knox.
Yeah.
You have a podcast, Chocolate Knox Unplugged. You're part of the Fight, Laugh, Feast network.
Yeah, Cross Politic is actually the main podcast.
All right. That is the main one.
Yeah,
There's 3 guys on that.
Yeah, there's 3 of us on there. Chocolate Knox Unplugged is what I do with my friend Jason Farley. He's a brilliant guy, brilliant Christian. And I just do long-form 3-hour podcasts with him where he just works through Christianity 101 to large philosophical, theological thoughts. So that's really rich, in-depth.
This is amazing. My head's kind of spinning. Really, I'm thinking like, all right, what do I need to learn?
Well, you're welcome to call me anytime you need. Seriously, I don't mind being available. Yes, absolutely. I want Christians involved in taking dominion. And if there's something that I know that can help you and be a resource for you, I want to help you take dominion.
Awesome.
So feel free to reach out. And as anybody listen, feel free to reach out. You can find me on X, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. And if I won't mind coming to help people audit their companies so they can use AI in their companies.
Sweet.
There's lots of resources out here that we are in nobody knows this is beachfront property yet. And we're in that level that beachfront property is super cheap. But there's going to be a point where people figure it out.
Get in now. Huh?
Yes. Don't believe the overhypeness of it. It's not God. It's not going to be. It's not men. It's not going to be. But it's definitely there to help you take dominion.
That's a good closing point. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
It's been excellent.
Thank you.